you're able, forsooth, it will be too late. And now, Spreaker Web Radio presents The Grouch with Blood on the microphone.
I don't know much about nothing. That's how I get along. Half my brain is smaller than the other, and howdy, my stench is strong. Not what you would call gallant. I got no natural talent, but I go blogging every day, hoping I'll find something smart to say. I'm a blogging fool, and I'm August too. I'm a blogging fool, and I'm August too. I can't explain Pinky and the Brain, but I can't complain, cause I'm August too, and a blogging fool. The smarter folks on Twitter, I think they're all to blame. I log on in and see them there, gonna put them all to shame. When they see me tweeting, they all splits aside. It hasn't been while I commit my social suicide. I'm a blogging fool, and I'm August too. I'm a blogging fool, and I'm August too. The world goes on and I'm so wrong. 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 I know I'm totally wrong, but I'm a blogging fool. I know I'm totally wrong, but I'm a blogging fool. Yowza, yowza, yowza. I got it all together now with my very own iPhone 3. Hey, I cruise the App Store to find something cool to show on my docket. I found this thing called Grindr. I think I'll give it a chance and see if there's a girl who might give me a whirl while I text the night away. I'm a blogging fool, and August too. I'm a blogging fool, and I'm August too. I may be totally wrong, but I'm a August fool. I may be totally wrong, but I'm a blogging fool. I may be totally wrong, but I'm August too. I may be totally wrong, but I'm a Buddha. Hey, Augie, can I buy you a drink? Looking for Mr. Ass Kiss? Here he is. Wait a minute, I got it. You're a genius. Hi, you're brilliant. Love your brain. You must work for NASA, huh? Your place or mine.
After righting wrongs, solving crimes, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Using advanced methods that may ultimately become available to all law enforcement agencies, Smallveld is known to the evil Breitbart Empire as the seemingly supernatural nemesis as haunting to the superstitious mind of a right-winger moron as a ghost, as inevitable as a guilty conscience. The liberal grouch has vowed that only death will end his quest for social justice. When that day happens, and his voice is silenced, it will surely be as the result of blood on the microphone.
And oh boy, do I have a show for you today. Oh boy, do I have a show for you today. My name is Bill Schmalfelt. This is Blood on the Microphone for Friday, March 27th, 2015. And I'm noticing that it would seem that somebody's trying to knock me off the air, which is fine because the show continues to record. And if I get knocked off the air, well, you can listen to it in about an hour and a half when it's available on SoundCloud and YouTube and on my website, which, by the way, is End Times Tribune, endtimestribune.com. Okay? And you can tweet me at Blood on the Mic. Love to hear from you. Got a whole lot to go through today. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
If you enjoy the witty comedy bits on this show, even the naughty stuff that professional moron Eric P. Johnson of Paris, Tennessee calls illegal, you can have your own copies of these choice bits of progressive funny stuff by logging onto Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you purchase CDs or digital downloads online. Do a search for our host's last name, spelled SCHMALFELDT, and you will find a wealth of material recorded over the years for your amusement, and to insult the pinheads who support the harassing lawfare of WJJ Hogue III. Don't wait until after someone carries out their threats to murder Bill. The prices will be certain to skyrocket. Go to your favorite online place for ordering CDs or digital downloads. Search for SCHMALFELDT. Blow the cobwebs off of that credit card and show the right-wing dickheads that they are not the boss of you. Thank you.
There's a package for you at the door.
Gee, I wonder who it's from.
There's no return address, but the postmark says it's from Slovenia.
Golly, I don't know anybody in Slovenia.
Well, what are you waiting for? Open it.
I'm just naive enough to do that, honey. I mean, what else are you gonna do with a mysterious package sent from some unknown person in Eastern Europe?
Well, what is it?
Well, mercy sakes alive. Someone has sent me a bowel movement.
Yes, nothing gets person's attention faster than a bowel movement in a Tupperware container. And here at Posta Poop, we take great care to spell name correctly and put correct address on label so poop show up at right person home. It's a new fashioned way. When you have something to say it with poop.
Honey, do we have a Tupperware bowl we can spare?
Sure. What do you need it for?
Well, it would be rude not to return the gesture.
You're so polite.
Here you go, you crazy Republican bastard.
Make sure you send enough to share.
No problem. I had tacos for lunch.
Posta Poop. When you care enough to send
providing a free world-class education for everyone anywhere. If you look at a Khan Academy video, you'll cover everything for business.
Now, I see that I'm being bounced off the air from time to time here, so the show is trying to do a denial of service. Spreaker has this ability to reconnect itself. So if you just stick with us through the dead spots, or check back in on my website later when I've got the entire show posted, you won't miss a thing. I guarantee you won't miss a thing.
Hello, I'm a Papa Luigi, the Italian chef stereotype. The Republican Party hopes that you will identify with the good, tasty food. And I got some good news for you. Remember that nasty, sloppy spaghetti we make for you last year? You took one look, one sniff of that spaghetti, and you said, "Oh no, I'm not going to eat that crap." And, well, you didn't. So Papa Luigi, he meets with the master chefs of the GOP, and we come up with a solution that we think will make everybody happy and make everybody come back to eat at Papa Luigi's Republican restaurant. It's the same soggy, nasty, overcooked spaghetti with the sauce that tastes like a ketchup and the meatballs that feel like they made from a meat-flavored foam rubber. Same thing as last time, but this time we make a lot more of it. That's what it takes to get the customers back. Because you take a product they reject because it tastes bad, you make no changes in the recipe, but make a bunch more of it, then everybody come back. You come back and see Papa Luigi. Please, I beg you. Senator McConnell, he got my kids.
Papa Luigi's Republican Restaurant. It's the same old crap, but more of it. And at a new higher price.
He says he's going to take on my wife next. Please, I beg you, help me.
Long-haul truck drivers Jimmy and Billy have just wrapped up a visit at one of America's clean and safe travel centers where they fueled up the vehicle and now they're getting ready to get back out on the road. Jimmy's turned behind the wheel. He's just waiting for Billy to show. Oh, here he comes now. Hey there, Bill. I've been waiting on your ass. What do you got there?
Oh, I got us a couple coffees here, Jimmy.
All right, well, get on in here. Let's get on the road, and thank you for the coffee. Oh, it's going to be a long night of driving ahead of us, Billy. I know. That's why I got us each a double shot of espresso in these here Starbucks coffees I bought. Starbucks? Is you out of your mind? What the hell are you talking about, Jimmy? God damn it, Billy, don't you ever watch the church channels on TV? Not if there's wrestling on. Jesus Christ, Billy. Don't you know that Starbucks could turn you gay? Oh, that's nonsense, Jimmy. That's pure bullshit is all that is. Oh, is it? Well, sir, you just listen here to what Reverend David Barton had to say at his weekly service at the Whitesburg Baptist Church in Huntsville, Alabama.
Starbucks is pouring all this money into destroying traditional marriage. The question is, can a Christian give money to a group he knows will use it to attack what God supports? If you know that when you buy a cup of Starbucks, 5, 10, 15 cents is going to be used to defeat marriage, can you do that? Answer is no. Biblically, there's no way a Christian can help support what is attacking God. I'm sorry, you got to find some like coffee to drink. Can't drink Starbucks and be biblically right on this thing. It's just a real simple principle.
Now, just how in the hell do you do that, Jimmy? Do what, Billy? Sound just like the Reverend there. I don't know what you're talking about. With the applause and everything. Look, just never mind. Just dump that Starbucks out the window. You go drinking that Starbucks coffee, you may as well drink a cup full of the devil's semen, because you're going to end up as gay as a San Francisco faggot. Oh, come on now, Jimmy. You know that's just a bunch of hogwash. Here, go ahead. No, I don't want any. Go ahead, try a little sip. It ain't gonna hurt you none. You mean other than turn me gay, and that's what you're gonna be if you drink that thing. You know there's no way Starbucks is gonna turn you gay, Jimmy, for Christ's sakes. You're married, you got 6 kids, I'm married, and I got 7, and I can barely stand being with you, let alone being with other men. Good God Almighty, like a cup of coffee is gonna turn you gay. Hell, maybe you're right, Billy. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong, but maybe you're right. It just ain't scientific, Jimmy. That's all. It ain't scientific. Well, I could use a cup of coffee. Thank you there, Billy. Don't mention. Yeah, what kind did you get me here? I think that's a pumpkin spice latte. Kind of tastes like pumpkin pie in a coffee cup. Well, what do you get? I got the Venti white chocolate mocha with 2 extra shots of espresso in it. There's 2 extra shots in yours, too, there, Jimmy. Well, it tastes mighty fine. Hey, is that a rest stop up there? My eyes are kind of fuzzy. Yeah, it looks like a rest stop up there, Jimmy. You got to stop? I thought we just used the... Well, you know me. I'm over 40. My prostate's acting up. I feel like I need to take another whiz, if it's all right with you. It's all right with me if it's all right with you. All right, well, let's just see if there's a parking space in here. Oh, good. Place is almost empty. Good job of parking there, Jimmy. Yep, I'm the best in the business. All right, let's get those pants off. Oh, you beat me to it. Back in the sleeper.
This message brought to you in the public interest by the fine, family-loving people who make Folgers. The best part of waking up is realizing your underwear are still facing the same direction they was when you went to bed, and they ain't bloody. Folgers. Try a cup. It won't turn you gay.
Things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you guess? Now, I don't write that many letters. I just don't. I prefer email as a form of communication. But here's a letter I wrote to, I believe it was Judge Hollander, where I signed my name, and underneath there's a signature block. And then there's another letter, I believe to the same person, where I signed my name, I type my name underneath, and the stationery that I created has a signature block beneath it. Then there's this letter that Hogue purports to have come from me. It says, sincerely, comma, and then there's a squiggle and no signature block. Now we have a letter I sent to the clerk of courts in Howard County. It has my name, and underneath my name, a signature block, name, address, phone number, and all that. Here's another letter I wrote. Sincerely, my name, with my name, address, email address, phone number. It's a signature block. Another one saying, I believe this was in Brett Kimberlin's case. Sincerely, William M. Schmalfelt, signed, and underneath a signature block with my name, telephone number, address.
And then another one. Respectfully, my squiggle of a signature and a signature block underneath. And then another one saying, when I decided not to sue Hogue, sincerely, a squiggle, and then underneath that, a signature block. Have you figured it out yet? I don't write a whole lot of letters. Like I said, I prefer to communicate via email whenever possible. But when I do write a letter, it always has a signature block under my signature. One of the letters does not have a signature block below my signature, and it's the one that Hogue claims I sent to him. It also has the signature that was traced from my peace order petition in the Patrick Grady case. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Now, I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist on seeing that unredacted envelope. And if I have to go through the circuit court to get it, I will. And I'll explain why to the judge. Also, if you want more evidence of how evidence gets manufactured in Hoagieville, go to my website, endtimestribune.com. That's endtimestribune.com. And go to the story that says, Proof that Hogue Fabricates. That has some audio evidence that you might find interesting. You might not find it interesting. I think you will. You're listening to Blood on the Microphone, our episode today entitled Say Hello to My Little Friend. And we're going to do that here in just a bit.
The little bastards are on the school bus. My husband's off to work. The UPS guy won't be here for another hour or so. Now it's me time. Time to sit down to a nice bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Why, it's the Runny Nuts Scenarios B.
That's right. And do you really want to put all that hate and bigotry in your mouth?
What are you talking about, B?
Heck, everybody knows that Kellogg's is not just a company. It's a system of world government that believes in the oppression of your freedom.
Why, that just sounds stupid.
Well, that's just because you believe the nonsense that Kellogg's spoons out in their advertisements. Look here.
Oh, you brought charts.
What do you know about those crunchy little flakes you're about to put in your mouth? The ingredients on the side label of the packaging?
Actually, I never really gave it all that much thought.
Well, let's take a look. Reduced iron. Reduced from what? The chains of slaves? Niacinamide. That sounds an awful lot like cyanide to me, don't you think? Zinc oxide. That sounds like a metal. And metal shards in your cereal? Is that something you want?
Golly, no.
Palmitate? Riboflavin? That sounds like something Jerry Lewis made up in a comedy bit. Riboflavin, nice lady. Thiamine mononitrate. You know too many nitrates are bad for you. And folic acid. Acid in your breakfast cereal. We at General Shills are not afraid to tell you that Kellogg's is trying to kill you.
But they seem so nice.
Sure they do. That's their spiel. But back in World War II, we didn't have any problem calling Hitler evil, did we? So why are we pussyfooting around with Kellogg's? Their goal is the complete and utter domination division of the breakfast cereal market, and they don't care how many of us they have to kill to do it.
Well, I'm not eating this shit again.
Now you're getting smart.
Thank you, Runny Butt Scenarios B.
It's my duty as an American animated advertising icon, lady.
Runny Butt Scenarios. It won't kill you. Another fine product of General Shills.
Hey, you. If you use Google Play, you have no excuse not to fill Bill's pocket with lawsuit money. Several of Bill's alleged comedy albums are available at Google Play. Do a search under music for SCHMALFELDT and warm up that credit card. Be on the right side of the left with the comedy, as some would call it, of Bill Schmalfeld. Now, let's all point and laugh at the fat, funny.
Yeah, that sounds like fun to me. Bill Schmalfeld here. This is Blood on the Microphone, our show today called Say Hello to My Little Friend. As I'm doing this live, give me just a second here. I see my second dog has just left the room, and now I can close the door. So I'm going to get up, walk over here, and shut the door so that I can do the program without annoying my wife, who right now is watching MSNBC. See how kind and considerate I am. Website, endtimestribune.com. And if at any point during the discussion you'd like to chime in with a tweet, by all means, that's what we're here for, to communicate. I wish I could take phone calls, but no can do. As a special Friday treat today, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about a conspiracy to defame about trusting people one should have known better than to trust, and it begins with an admission. Let's begin this post from Patrick Grady, the Palatine pundit from Palatine, Illinois, it was on the Hogwash blog, dated February 19th, 2015. Mr. Grady has a restraining order against me, so I'm not allowed to ask him about this, but I can certainly read what he wrote. Give it a listen. Again, February 19th, 2015, 5:30 in the afternoon. Patrick Grady wrote, I have had something on my mind for the past couple of weeks, but have been too much occupied by more important things to comment about it lately. It occurred to me recently that if I were on speaking terms with Bill Schmalfeld, not ever, FTR, I guess that means for the record, I would like to ask him a question. Bill, given that a little over a year ago, you chose to dox me, that's releasing personal information that's not otherwise available, which in this case is not accurate. You chose to dox me. over an innocuous little comment on a blog post about how horrible your 2013 was. If you were to look back over the past year since you did, would you say that as a result of that dox and all that has followed since, are you a happier man today than you were then? Close quote. Patrick Grady, Palatine, Illinois. The admitted bipolar functional sociopath. These are his words. He sent me several very thinly veiled death threats, one of which I reported to the police. An event which was recounted on a blog post that I was never meant to read. Dated April 18th, 2014, by Paul Krendler. A nice visit from the local police. A very respectful, polite, and is nice a word you can use when talking about a cop? Nice officer from my local police department stopped by my palatial estate this evening. We had a long, pleasant chat on a cool evening out there on my wraparound screen porch. The purpose of his visit was to inform me that the local law enforcement had been contacted by another jurisdiction about me, and he wanted to explain what the law can and cannot do. I told him I understood, and I had no problem. The conversation turned into a, quote, retired, quote, professional, quote, journalist named Fat Bastardson, living near Baltimore, Maryland. He wanted to ask about any contact between the two of us. I told him, yeah, there's been plenty of that. Most of it's been indirect, though. He says you've threatened to kill him, the officer said. He says that a lot, I said. He's a fucking lunatic who should be in a long-term psych ward, said Bipolar Boy. The officer laughed. Who better to see the signs, I said. This tremulous turd burglar believes every word he says, and a whole lot more that he simply makes up. He actually thinks I'm a sociopath because I talked about how they behave once. No, I quoted you, Patrick. I said you called yourself a highly functional sociopath. Let's stay true to the record. He's managed to blow that up into a whole thing. Really? He asked. I told the officer how Fat Bastardson doxed me after I posted an innocuous comment on a particularly pathetic blog post. Wait a minute, what? After I posted an innocuous comment on a particularly... Well, those are the same words you used in your post to Hogwash. An innocuous little comment on a blog post, which I reported when I got the death threat from you. I reported it to the police, and here you are under the name not Patrick Grady, but Paul Krendler, writing about that incident. Huh. To him, two sentences were an attack, which formed a basis for Fat Bastardson to expose all the personal information he could collect, including photos of my wife and family. The officer said he understood what Fat Bastardson did not, that Twitter does not flip from a direct communication platform to a non-direct platform based on one person's inability to keep their mental shit straight. That's why tweeting a photo of a clay doll and a hand tool is not a death threat. I said it was. I said getting a photo tweeted to me by Pat Grady of Mr. Bill getting his head sawed off was a death threat. Indirect, veiled, but a death threat. Back to the letter. He said that the main reason that not even Fat Bastardson's home state's attorney was taking his death threat concerns seriously, they don't consider a Twitter contact as direct contact. Are you... Oh my. So why am I under a peace order again from WJJ Hogue? Here we've got Pat Grady and Paul Krendler saying efforts could be construed as harassment of me. So that's what I did. I sent the deputy state's attorney the gist of the conversation I had with the officer, who's recovering from a conversation with the legal geniuses in Fat Bastardson's home jurisdiction, sent her a copy of all the screen caps I had taken of his vile blog posts and Twitter timeline, and asked if this would serve as proof of e-harassment. Oh, I also included several of his posts and tweets regarding his plain frightening obsession with all things Hogue. The one where he listed 1,000 Hogewash posts to argue that he's not obsessed should be especially enlightening, as further proof of his obviously unbalanced mental state. I included a link to the sample of this, quote, retired, quote, professional, quote, journalist's new self-published, quote, book. I haven't heard back yet, but the officer, whose name I will gladly reveal to anyone who sends me a comment with a working email address, person into doing something that would justify what? I didn't even know about this blog. And I know at some point the conversation will turn to whether or not I actually spoke to a police officer and whether or not the conversation went the way I said it did. But you know what? His opinion just doesn't matter. And that's just too bad, isn't it? My local law enforcement agency has always been pleasant and helpful whenever I've called with questions. They never give me cause to feel like my concerns aren't valid, so I don't have to constantly call and email and risk being the laughingstock of the entire county. I don't have to worry about getting laughed out of court or involuntarily committed for psychiatric evaluation. Now, On what blog was that posted on? Was it on a blog hosted by Patrick Grady of Palatine, Illinois? Well, yes and no. It was originally posted on a blog called parodyproductions.wordpress.com. As we shall see as we progress through our narrative, the name of the blog was changed and made public with a name that I would likely never find. They changed the name of the blog from parodyproductions.wordpress.com to hogue.wordpress.com. That's with 21 O's in Hogue. What are the chances of entering that into a Google search? But let's share some of the finer points of this blog in much the same way as I will explain my theory of conspiracy in the amended complaint I will file, or in the conspiracy case I may file in federal court. Again, this was Patrick Grady of Palatine, Illinois, discussing a visit from the police occasioned by my complaint, Paul Krendler. That's not even the most damning bit of information you're going to hear. All right, let's share some of the finer points of this, like I said. Here's a blog post written March 27th, 2014, in which he pretends he's being me about how I wish I could quit Hogue. This was a month, actually more than a month, before I even heard of anyone calling himself Paul Krendler. And then there's this one dated March 28th, 2014. Gotta hand it to Bill. He sure can drive traffic away. A piece of creative fiction in loving tribute to a certain fellow in Elkridge, Maryland, as I imagine his home life. And this is the exact same blog post he posted on his brand new Thinking Man Zombie blog under the title, We Can Write What We Want, right? Nearly a month later, on April 23rd, 2014. This is the blog post that Grady sold the World Book and e-book rights to Hogue for $5 so that Hogue could sue me for copyright infringement and fail. But let's continue. Again, that post was March 28th, 2014. He went, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, August. He went 6 months before posting another post in this blog. It's called A Major Bleg. And you'll notice now at this point, he has separated himself in identity from Paul Krendler. There's a Paul Krendler and there's a Patrick Grady. Now, can I say for sure that somebody named Patrick Grady did not give this blog to somebody calling himself Paul Krendler? No, I can't say that. But goddamn, it sure looks that way, don't it? Especially when the first blog post I read to you is signed by a Paul Krendler. And he describes an incident that occurred to Patrick Grady as happening to him. Here's what he wrote. Okay, if you're here, you're among friends. Welcome. This post is a depository of information. Any stories that you know of the Cabin Boy, please leave them in the comments. Update. I think I need to clarify something. A few days ago, after Bill's latest bit of paper vomit came out, Grace suggested that I should write an ebook on my own self. The motion was seconded, and the ayes carried. So, what I'm asking for here is everything you have, not for the purposes of going to court, but for book-length biographical parody for, you guessed it, fun and profit. I want it all, Doug. I want to dump it all in a pot, mix in liberal amounts of alcohol and hate crack, and condense it into book form. I bet I can sell more copies of that than Bill has total copies of all books he's published. Fun. Active links are best, most helpful, and most appreciated. Truthful anecdotes to be ruthlessly parodied are also great. Finally, outright lies are encouraged. This is intended to be fictional parody after all. The comments are open. And here are some of those comments. The first coming from Paul Krendler. The first comment comes from someone who wishes to remain anonymous. Heh. Here is the original email from Bill, his approach to me to attempt to enlist me in Team Kimberlin. And it was dated August 29th, 2012. So I'm assuming this was to Paul Lemon. Or tweet to this bipartisan effort to get the truth from Ali Akbar. So yes, we're talking about Paul Lemon here. I was already aware of you and working on my story, but Alex Brandt Zawadzki mentioned you would be interested in working with someone on a story along these lines. I offer my services. As I am retired and have nothing better to do, my time is your time, so please advise. Check out my work at theliberalgrouch.com and let me know if you think a collab would be a good thing. That was back in the day when Paul Lemon, the phony Orthodox priest, was looking for stuff to hang on Ali Akbar. Next comment from Howard Earl. I once created an alt on Facebook and left hints that and Paul replies, that's great stuff. Jane says, I don't have interactions with it/BS. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Perhaps I could gather its comments from specific websites into one doc with links. Say, all comments from MM site, which appears to remain up. Or maybe some of us could organize here so we don't duplicate efforts gathering comments from various sites. If anyone can suggest something I can do that may be helpful, please let me know. And then this person who used to hate me a whole bunch, but has apparently, taken her own life. Someone definitely needs to save everything MM wrote. Who's MM? And all of Bill's comments that he posted before it disappears. I'm still sharing a computer, so I really can't save shit, but hopefully we'll be on hidey hole you have over here is making BS absolutely nuts. Maybe worth making a little noise about it via tweets to see if it brings the deranged cyberstalker and adjudicated harasser Bill Schmalfeld out of hiding for continued mockery. Heh. By the way, I most likely have much of the same stuff as many others have, but I'd wager I have upwards of hundreds of screen caps, courtesy of Bill Schmalfeld, if you're interested. Who in their right mind has hundreds of my screen caps? Krendler says, I'll take anything you have. My intent is to toss it all into a barrel, mix it with a liberal application of alcohol and hate crack and parody like a madman. As an aside, as he was trying to sue me alongside John, there was a tweet from BS, long since deleted, in which he said something very close to, so, Krendler, are you going to give me access to your private blog, or am I going to have to see the judge? Suffice it to say, he's never been here, and never will. Until today. Gem writes, I use the gem tag for all my comments, but my Twitter tag is JMEL44. I'll have to check that out later. Easy to make that connection with the same avatar being used on both, but since I'm not very active on Twitter, it's probably irrelevant. She's just trying to get in on the group there, is what I think. Okay, let's scroll down here a little bit. Somebody calling himself appropriately Rat22. Paul, yeah, Fat Boy did try to dox me, but it didn't work. Yes, it did. All right, let's get further into the conspiracy here. Army vet, being an idiot, wants to know how to how to attach files. And let's see. Krendler says he'll set up a safe email drop soon. And Army vet says I can set up an account and establish a Google Docs repository. What does this sound like so far? Eric Johnson in his EPWJ handle says he's got nothing to do. Nothing. He's perpetually in his happy, sweaty place. Ew. Hang in there. It's going to get worse. Oh, left him a review. Guess I should get my affairs in order. I struggled through much of the book. The doctor said I didn't really claw my eyes out, just scratched them. These people make up their own narrative about me and talk about it as if it's true. Rick Buchanan himself says that no one can respond to BS, is that BS can make and use sock puppets to respond to and harass himself. I'm harassing myself. And I don't know if this Kelly Buchanan is his wife or daughter or something else. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll past the stuff that isn't particularly enlightening. But there's a bunch of stuff here. Okay. Let's get to the next. Oh, this is great. You're going to love this. At Yuma Bev. Parkinson's disease, real humor, and gaslighting. This is dated September 21st, 2014. Okay, here's a mission with potential. While searching out Parkinson's humor to check for mockable stupidity this morning, I found another Parky who blogs about her life with the disease. She does not appear to be distracted by anything so pedestrian as progressive politics, domestic terrorist, mayonnaise, or the butt stuff. Her name is Bev, and I'm never sure I got this name pronounced correctly, Ribaudo, and she needs to be followed and supported as cabin boy, so desires to be. Not because I think she's worthy of support, but because it'll dump hot coals on Bowie's head for bonus points. Do you get that? He's asking his readers to support this person with Parkinson's, not to support her, but to piss me off. Now here's something dated January 15th, 2015. If you would like to help someone who shall remain nameless by contributing to the purchase of an item which shall remain nameless, which may or may not have been suggested by someone who shall also remain nameless here, to be delivered to a third party who shall also remain nameless, and which may or may not lead to epic lulls in the near future, then head over to the Thinking Man Zombie and drop a $5 in the jar. Or don't. I'll see to it that it gets to the right place. Here, we are talking about the prison uniform that was sent to me shortly before the January 30th show cause. Shiko. Before getting in too deep into the woods over this, let me post an endorsement. I'll vouch for the guy. He's been active here and at TMZ almost from the beginning, and at other friendly sites as well. Your mileage may vary, but he and I are active together in other sectors of cyberspace, and he has given me no reason for distrust. On the internet, no one knows you're a dog in a sock behind a VPN. Remember, OPSEC first. Be as judicious as you like, but also be aware that no one knows everything that might be happening, and I think that's as it should be. Good God. We'll talk more about that here in just a bit. Right now I'm trying to get this damn thing to scroll down and do it properly. But it's not cooperating. Hang on. Let's go up here to the view thing and go to publishing layout. No, I don't want to create a new document. This is these are the vagaries of live radio. All right, let's increase the size. I did it. Okay. I went too far. All right, let's get back to business here. Now, he says that he's had good relationships with Stephen Shiko, and Stephen Shiko is the man who hipped me to a scam that Hogue was trying to prove. And he and I have developed a friendly relationship over the last year or so. He continues to have a white-hot hatred for Brett Kimberlin, but he and I have been respectful to each other. And it bothers me to think that he may have been a mole. That every time I tried to start a new Twitter site, Stephen was there to follow me so we could chat back and forth. But here you've got Krendler saying, I'll vouch for the guy. He's been active here at the Parody Productions blog and at the Thinking Man Zombie almost from the beginning, and other friendly sites as well. He and I are active together in other sectors of cyberspace, and he's given me no reason for distrust. And then this next one I threw in just because it's so fucking funny. Paul Whiteman Radio? Is Paul Whiteman a real person, or is this just another sick racist joke from the world's most socially tone-deaf radio comedian, the Big BM? Anybody want to answer that for him? Paul Whiteman and his orchestra. Christ on a crutch. Tiny Bleg update. Dated January 19th, 2015. Thanks to all of you who hit the tip jar over the last several days. I appreciate it. You managed to cover all costs of the person in question for the item in question to be delivered to the other person in question. I suppose it does no harm at this point to reveal that the item is not sparkly at all, but rather could be vaguely described as, institutional. Also, the post office tells those of us in the know to expect the howling to begin around midday tomorrow. Update. I just had an idea. I think it's brilliant. Hopefully you will too. When El Blabo gets his present and the freak out begins, I think we can count on one of the first things happening being him demanding to know who did it. There would be a clip of James Cagney and Mr. Roberts here if I could find it. And the minute he makes that demand, everybody runs straight over to Hogwash and confess. So here we have Patrick Grady, a.k.a. Paul Krendler, admitting that he at least took part in the mailing of the jail uniform. This was dated the next day, January 20th, 2015, and it's titled, Apology. I'm sorry to say, here at nearly 9 p.m. Eastern Time, that the Postal Service website kind of lied. Their expected delivery date still says today, but I just don't believe it's going to happen. I know everyone was excited, so was I. Now I'm disappointed but faithful. The package is in the neighborhood, and while I put out a goal that was not met, it will get there eventually, and I will post as soon as I know anything more. Promise. Then on the 22nd, we have liftoff. He posts the USPS tracking information. He's got a video clip of Agent Smith from the Matrix Revolutions laughing, and he has a picture of me holding the jail uniform with a disgusted look on my face. And that was really about the only reaction I gave him. I have another request for the zombie horde. This was dated February 13th, 2015. I have a request from Andrew Ballard. That's the AB, the individual who was disproving my military history. I have a request from AB for links to the several peace orders against Bill. I know they are linked here and there in threads either here or at TMZ, but I'm lazy. I would appreciate it if anyone who has easy access to links for the various court orders, looking at you, Jane, would post the links in the comments. Also, if we could keep the comments on this thread specific to that purpose until accomplished, all the better. Update. And this is all crossed out. Now that the dumb fuck has A, deleted the bullshit tweet where he said he was going to change his banner and Avi out of respect for Mrs. Hogue, and B, changed his banner and Avi back to Rat Breath Hogue, does anyone have an original screen cap of the tweet that shows his own ugly mug as proof that he's reversed himself and was never the least bit sincere in the first place? February 15th, 2015. In the name of ops, means operational security. What follows here is intentionally vague, but I ask you all to take it seriously. I have been asked, it doesn't say by whom, to use this site as a clearinghouse coordination point for a new crowdsourcing project beginning on March 1st. Well, there's a question I can ask him in court. Who asked you to use the site for that purpose? There's a big goal here, and I think it's achievable. But even that must remain guarded for the moment. For now, it's probably best to think of it in terms of smaller goals. What's needed is a catalog/database of information of Bill's online activities and exploits organized according to target or victim. I'm thinking that eventually we will be collating and unifying anything we can find into individual posts, i.e. the case of Lee and Lawrence S., the case of I Want It All Doug, the case of Kyle K., the many failed doxes of Paul K. You get the idea. Starting now, however, if you're willing, this is all I'm being asked for. Collect any information by or about Bill that you can find from any and all online sources. Record the links, save as text and photos. Anything that relates directly to a specific target or victim should be grouped. Anything that illuminates the general lack of sanity of Bill Schmalfelt can be classified just that, general insanity. I'll share more as I have more to share. Please keep what you collect to yourself for the next couple of weeks. Please use the comments for questions and answers. I'll answer as quickly as I can. Update. Jane is correct. This post is just to alert everyone to what is coming. The reason we are starting March 1st is to give everyone time to organize what they have and to gather everything else you know is out there, but for one reason or another you just didn't capture it. 2. There will be donuts and beer, possibly even bacon. 3. Under no circumstances do you collect, download, preserve, or transcribe any of Bill's child pornography. Why, that's defamatory. I have no child pornography. Or suspected child pornography. I have no suspected child pornography. Only supply links to the offensive material and a PG-13 description of the material. Additionally, you may provide an explanation of the circumstances leading up to the production of the material, if there is one. In fact, just let our lawyers do the kiddie porn part of this project. Who are your lawyers, Grady? See, now there's another question I'll have for you. 4. There will not be a need for Google Docs unless you want to team up with someone to coordinate your stuff prior to March. If you do this, lock it down. This project has already been mapped out, so the organization end has already been handled. I realize that things don't seem clear right now, but they will as time goes on. 5. Don't jump the gun. Take this time to sort through your stuff. March 1st will be here sooner than you think, and then all hell will break loose. If you take this time now to organize your data, you'll only have to spend 15 to 20 minutes a day on this project next month, unless you're really, really dedicated. We can get all this thing accomplished. It doesn't matter if 2 or 3 people post the same capture or data, as long as we get every bit of evidence possible put up. And there are 146 comments. Now he decides to take a shot at my friend Matt Osborne. Hey, kids! This is dated February 20th, 2015. Parallel Dino and me behind the scenes are trolling Bunny Boy so fucking hard right now on Twitter. Go peek at Osborne Inc. Fun. Now here is where we find that he has changed Fair Use Parody Productions into Hogue.wordpress.com. Welcome, team. Well, this is March 5th, 2015. Welcome, Team Free Speech. Drugs and liquor to the left, hookers to the right. No, wait, that was my bachelor party. Soon, I think he meant this, is going to become what Fair Use Parody Productions is now. Nothing will change or disappear. I'm just moving it from one file cabinet to another. If you're here, it's because you're a member of Fair Use Parody Productions, and everyone on the list is invited. Project March Madness housekeeping. March 6th, 2015. Just a short post with some explanations and instructions. I have several sections of information that will appear in the next few hours. They will actually be scheduled to drop at 5-minute intervals as soon as I finish putting them together. What you will see are different sections that detail the Big BM's life, history, background, family connections, known associates, etc. What we are being asked to do, by who, is what BPO and Jane... All right, somebody help me with who BPO is. I'll have to dwell on that. Applause for all the really productive efforts, both of you. BPO. Huh. Use the comments to fill in the blanks. If you know of information that should be added, particularly social network identifiers, but really anything, included in the comments below the appropriate post. There will be duplication of effort. That's expected and planned for. Don't trouble yourselves over it. We are building a background check. The more detail we can provide, the better. Cover all ground and dig deep where you can. It would be much appreciated if we could focus the comments for each post on the sections and information requested. Use this post and any others made for the purpose for general commentary about the project. And one more thing. In the interest of OPSEC, please do not reblog any of the project posts. Keep it all here. Thanks. Now we go to a March 7th, 2015 poster called Trailer Sweet Trailer. He has my address, my zip code. I'm doing a radio show. Can I help you with something? Nothing at all? Did you just come in here to kiss me? Aw, you're sweet. Anyway, here is where they have posted a satellite Google shot picture of my trailer, along with street names, etc., etc. And then there's another shot of it. And then there's a shot of the front yard with our little red Ford Focus sitting in front. And then the final entry, March gulagged again. Do not speak of this. Do not comment. Do not tweet at support. Do not figure out what to do. It's a low priority measured against other things. I will return to Twitter in time and with a plan. Citing Patrick Grady of Palatine, Illinois, as Paul Krendler, and proving conspiracy to harass. What do you think? I'd like to see a Twitter from you, a tweet, or something of the sort. And again, I said I felt bad about naming Stephen Shyko. And again, I'll read what Grady said about him. Before getting too deep in the woods over this, let me post an endorsement. I'll vouch for the guy. He's been active here and at TMZ, almost from TMZ's Thinking Man Zombie, almost from the beginning, and at other friendly sites as well. Your mileage may vary, but he and I are active together in other sectors of cyberspace, and he has given me no reason for distrust. On the internet, no one knows you're a dog in a sock behind a VPN. Remember, OPSEC first, be judicious as you like, but also be aware that no one knows everything that might be happening. I think that's how it should be. Everyone chill. I sent a copy of that to Stephen, and I said, I would like to give you an opportunity to explain this. He wrote back, I am seeing that for the first time. Where is it from, and what's to explain? Lickspittles don't trust me because I'm friends with you. And now here, perhaps, saved for last, is the most damning bit of information. I wrote to Stephen, and now, after I alerted you to it, the website has been deleted. Too late, of course. When you go to the Hogue with 21 O's.wordpress.com site now, you'll see that it's no longer available. The authors have deleted this site. Oh my God. And why is my music not playing here? I want my music to play. I want here it goes.
The lickspittle is on my ass. The lickspittles are on my ass. They're molding brains and crazy games and laughs. Got to keep the lemmings on the path. The lickspittle is in my face. The lickspittles are in my face. The hogwash blog ensures invective-filled galore, and every day he pushes them for more. And if it all comes crashing down upon you soon, and if there is no place for you to hide, And if the monsters you created rat on you, I'll see you on the barred side of the room. The lick-spittle still wants me dead. The lick-spittles all want me dead. It's me they blame. I bear the shame of their imaginary dread. They'll lock the door and throw away the key. If there's someone in your head, it might be me. And in your madness, blunders and mistakes, you shout and no one seems to hear. And when your cellmate asks that you sing him show tunes, I'll see you on the barred side of the room. All that you mock and all that you smear, all you insult and all that you fear, all that you hate and all you despise, all you distort with all your lies, and all that you take and all that you steal, all you hope die. Your wounds will not heal. All you berate, all you deny, have sealed your fate like all you deride, and all you divide, and all you besmirch, and all that you hide from everyone in church, and all that is dead, and all that is gone. Your hell to come, and everything under the sun is entombed, but the sun is eclipsed by your ruin.
You like audiobooks, don't you? Of course you do. It's all the pleasure of reading, without the time-consuming strain and hassle of holding a book. And, eye strain, carpal tunnel syndrome, who needs that? This is why audiobooks have become so popular. Your genial host of this program, Bill Schmorfelt, has audiobooks you can purchase. Put on your Parky face. Read by the author, is the telling of Bill's experience with Parkinson's disease. I Killed Osama and That Hussein Fella Too is a rollicking comedy fiction about a disgraced truck driver and his penchant for telling tall tales. The Miracle Boys of Slowpoke, Iowa is about two special brothers who don't know how special they really were. Baby's first book of socialist propaganda is a tongue-in-cheek storybook for progressive children. These books are brought to life by the considerable vocal talents of professional voice actors David Winograd and Robert Armin. You can find these books on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and on Audible.com. And coming very soon, a play Bill wrote with his late twin brother has been brought to life as a radio play. Be watching for news about end times, a comedy in 2 acts. Coming soon. Audiobooks. No trees were killed in the production of these titles.
Because I'm a kind and gentle person. Don't like killing trees to make books. I'm Bill Schmalfeld. You've been listening to Blood on the Microphone. Our episode today, say hello to my little friend. My little friend, Paul Krendler, a.k.a. Patrick Grady. I think we've established that. We've certainly made a very good prima facie case for it. And the fact that they foolishly deleted the site as soon as it was discovered that I was onto it, after I screen capped the whole fucking thing. It's not going to help. But, like I said, I am a kind, forgiving man. There's plenty of evidence here for conspiracy charges. I'm talking federal conspiracy charges. You want to talk? My email address, Lord of Satire, one word, Lord of Satire @gmail.com. I will look very, very kindly on anyone involved in this conspiracy who drops me a line and shares truthful information at lordof_satire@gmail.com. I was not meant to find that website. It is not advertised anywhere. It was by an accident of searching for something else entirely that I stumbled upon it. It was there. It's not anymore. Hogue with 21 letter O's in Hogue .wordpress.com. It's all gone. And if I were advising anybody, I would say that might be a good idea for Thinking Man Zombie, too. It might be better if that were to vanish mysteriously as well. I know Hogue will never shut down Hogwash because then he'd have to kill himself because that is his entire ego right there. But anybody with any instinct of self-preservation who wants to flip and get special consideration, my email address, lordofsatire@gmail.com. We'll see if anybody takes advantage of that when we get together on Monday afternoon. Have a grand weekend. Ha 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 ha.
Dance to that. Which one is created for? Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Blood on the Microphone is a presentation of Deep Brain Media. Copyright by Bill Smallfelt, all rights reserved. Till next time, this is Cedric the Announcer. Stay safe. And wing nuts. He's coming. He's coming for you. Are you ready?